It's time to start getting ready for fall decorating. And today I want to share with you how to make a cow-covered pumpkin using a pumpkin that I had from last year. I'm trying really hard not to spend a lot of money this year on making my fall decorations, so I'm going to be using things that I already have. So like I said in the beginning, this is a pumpkin I bought last year. I think I actually got this at Hobby Lobby when they were on clearance. And this is a pretty good size pumpkin, but you could do this craft with any size pumpkin that you have, even the Dollar Tree pumpkins. And I found this upholstery fabric at Hobby Lobby. I only bought a yard of it. It was 30% off, and I think it cost around $13. So I did purchase this year, but I really like this material because it isn't like a fabric. It's more of a vinyl, which makes it really perfect for a project like this. It has a nice smooth backing and then that beautiful cow print on the front. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut off a piece of the fabric. Now, if you wanted to get really perfect with this, you could cut out the individual pieces, but because I have a yard of the fabric, I'm probably going to be a little bit wasteful and just cut off a section of it. And I'm just going to use a piece of yarn to measure the approximate size that I want the material to be. So once I have the fabric piece cut out, now I'm just coming back and cutting some smaller pieces of it. I'm going to be using smaller pieces and larger pieces. If I had to guess, I would probably say that the strips of fabric are between 2 and 3 inches wide. So now I'm just going to round off each of the ends of the fabric on all of the pieces that I have cut out. And I think I ended up using about 12 strips of the cow fabric to cover this pumpkin. Now that's just the first step, is covering all of the pumpkin. And it doesn't matter if you cover it perfectly on each of the ribs of the pumpkin or if you just piece them together to make the entire pumpkin have the cow pattern on it. So now that I have all of my strips cut out, I'm going to use my hot glue gun on one end of the fabric and I'm going to attach it to the top of the pumpkin. And the biggest reason why I like this type of fabric for covering pumpkins is because it's so easy with the heat of the glue gun to really get it nice and smooth on the surface of the pumpkin. Again, it doesn't matter how large the pumpkin is, you can get a really nice smooth covered surface by using a type of material that's kind of like vinyl. And last fall, I did make a pumpkin similar to this one, but I didn't have enough of this cow print or cowhide, so I ended up using faux leather in between. I will leave a link to that video in case you want to check that out. But after I did that pumpkin, I really wanted to have one that was completely covered with this type of material because it was just so pretty. And if you are into country or rustic or farmhouse, I think this would look really nice in your decorating. And I don't think I've ever seen a pumpkin like this anywhere. So that's what I really enjoy making and trying out, is different types of pumpkins that are very original that I can add to my decorating each year. And if you want to save money on the pumpkin itself, you can either repurpose a pumpkin that you already had or wait until the end of the fall season, because that's when Hobby Lobby and all of the other places will mark them down, which can be hard to wait that long. But if you're thinking about the future and you have the space to store them, having extra pumpkins is the best thing to do at the end of the season. And I know I will probably end up going back to Hobby Lobby and probably Michael's when they have these really great discounts, hopefully like 90% off. That would make this a much more affordable craft to make. So I'm just going to keep working my way around the pumpkin. It doesn't matter if you go like just in line or if you go opposite of each other. For this part, it really doesn't matter. The goal is just to cover the entire pumpkin with the cowhide. And I think that looks so pretty already. I love how this looks. And now I'm to the very last piece of the material, gluing it in place on the bottom, and the main part of this project is done. So now what I want to do is cover up all of the seams of the material. So I'm going to take some more strips of the fabric and I'm going to fold the ends over and I'm going to hot glue them down. So I'm literally going to have a strip of this cowhide material. So now once I have the strip, I'm just going to take that and I'm going to hot glue it over one of the seams on the pumpkin. Again, I'm going to start at the top of the pumpkin and I am going to use one of my little silicone sticks because that way I don't burn my fingers. And then I'm going to bring the material down over top of the seam that's on the pumpkin. You don't necessarily have to do that. You could leave it with, just all the pieces of the fabric. It's up to you. But I like to have this have a more finished look, and this seems to work really well for that. So I'm just going to repeat the same steps that I did with the fabric all over the pumpkin, but now I'm just focusing on the seams with the smaller strips of material. And depending on how many pieces of fabric that you used in the first place, that's going to determine how many of these strips that you're going to need to cover up the seams. So there are just a couple of strips that are in place, and now this is the pumpkin all finished with all of the seams covered up. So now I'm going to come back with the stem and I'm just going to hot glue that into the center on the top of the pumpkin. I did use quite a bit of hot glue to get it to stick down in place. Now if you wanted to, you could use a real pumpkin stem or you could use a stick. That would look really nice too and definitely have a rustic appearance, I think. But I had the stem because it was on the pumpkin that I already had, and that is what it looks like. Now, I did want to add just a little bit of embellishment to the top. So I'm going to take just a little bit of Spanish moss and I'm going to put that around the pumpkin stem on the top. And I find that if I use just a little bit at a time, then I can add to it if I want to have more Spanish moss or add a little bit of something extra. It's always easier to have a little bit in place and then come back and add more instead of putting too much on. Now I did have this bow that was a project from last year, but I really liked the colors and I thought they would look nice with my cow pumpkin. So I just cut the bow apart. Then I took the burlap and made it just a little bit smaller just to put around the edges on the top too. This is why I like to save things, because I know there's going to be a project in the future that I can use it for. So I guess I might be kind of a hoarder, especially when it comes to my craft supplies, because I like to keep all of the little pieces and all of the things that I may not have finished from like the previous season or, like this one for fall last year. There's always going to be something that I can use it for, and this is a perfect example of that. Next, I came back with some scraps of some material that I had dyed with like a coffee stain with instant coffee to get that look. And I thought the orange would look really nice too, so I just bundled up one piece of the orange and attached that to the top of the pumpkin. And then I thought, you know what, I've got extra, so I'm going to put another piece on of that bundled up orange ribbon as well. And I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to collect ribbon, so I have tons of ribbon, and it's just so pretty. That's why I like to add different colors and different ribbons like this to the projects that I create. I also had this raffia that I had put into a bow, and I just put that right in the front portion of where the stem is. Then I came back with a button and put that in the center of the raffia bow. I also thought it would look nice to add just a little bit of these floral pieces. These are just kind of berries, and I believe I found those at Hobby Lobby. So I cut the berry pieces down and again, using my hot glue gun, just glued them in place. I did one bundle on one side of the stem, and then I did another bundle on the opposite side right underneath the ribbon bows. And I still had a couple of extra different pieces of ribbon, and I decided to tuck those under the raffia bow on either side. Having all of these different texture of ribbon on the top of the pumpkin, I think gives it just a little bit of something extra. And that's what I'm all about, just playing around and trying to come up with something that might look fun, might look nice. And if it doesn't, I can always take it off and find something else to put there. Now, I didn't show you, but I made some little tendrils out of some paper covered ribbon, and I just wrapped that around a paintbrush to get that little curlicue effect. Now I'm going to put these metal leaves that I think I got them from a Dollar Tree project, but I thought they would look really nice on this pumpkin, and it definitely gives a little bit of something extra. And once I had those in place, I was like, you know what? My project is done. I am just so happy with how this project turned out. This pumpkin is so pretty. The most challenging part was getting all of the fabric onto the pumpkin itself, but it was fun to relax and just experiment and be a little bit creative. Well, I hope that you loved crafting with me today as much as I enjoyed sharing this project with you. And you know, every project that you create isn't just about saving money. It's also about proving to yourself that you can have some really unique decorator pieces in your home for every single season, and you get to be creative. And if this pumpkin video inspired you, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because I have lots of new budget-friendly crafts that I want to share with you this fall and Halloween season, and I don't want you to miss out on any of the fun. Remember, crafting isn't just about how much money you spend, it's about the love and creativity that you put into each and every project that you make. Until next time, stay crafty and keep creating.